Hello, hello, welcome back to the next exciting instalment of Funding Fridays. My name's Debbie Lewis. I'm the Regional Ecosystem Manager within NatWest Enterprise, covering the Midlands and East of England. So for those of you who don't know, super quick recap. This podcast was brought about by people in my community, in my network, saying, Debbie, all this coaching, all these workshops, all these events are fantastic. But what I really want to find out is, how do I get money, real money, to help me grow my business and help this cost of living and cost of doing business crisis feel a little bit easier. So I decided to go out and speak to all of the phenomenal people in my network who I know are sitting on pots of money, grants that are available for you, and to find out more about it, to help you download in the quickest way possible what it's for, if you're eligible, any restrictions, and then how to access it, how to follow up. So just to appease the financial regulations teams, this is not financial advice, nor should you take it as such. You should do all your own due diligence, and I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just signposting and cheerleading, as is my favourite thing to do. Today I'm joined by the lovely Lisa Thurnell from Go Car Charge. Lisa, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
My pleasure. Tell us a little bit about who you are, the business, and kind of how you came about.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Lisa from Go Car Charge, and we're a Buckingham-based business, and we supply and install charge points for electric vehicles, covering a wide array of areas all up and down the UK. So we started out about 18 months ago. Getting on the network of installations of charge points, and as we all know, it's the only way forward to reach our net zero goal, and we are helping businesses with the grants essentially at the moment to see what they can get that would benefit them with getting charge points at their office locations or business address, or if they're a landlord. There's various different ones available, but yes, I'm here today with Debbie to give you a little bit more information.
Amazing, thank you so much. So we're going to be talking specifically about electric vehicle charging point installation, and although you're a Buckingham-based business, this is for people in a much broader geographic location to be able to take advantage of. Is that because it's a government-backed grant? It's from the government?
Yeah, that's correct. So the government grants available at the moment, there's various ones around. The main ones that for businesses are called the EV infrastructure grant. Now that is in place to help businesses who have got fleet or staff looking to charge their vehicles at their offices. There's also a grant, the EV infrastructure grant, which is there for landlords who perhaps might be building flats, residential properties, where they've got residential car parks, where their tenants can also benefit from charge points. As we know, people in flats sometimes have become up against this problem previously with the domestic grants that were available prior to these ones with the government. So the government are doing all they can to get people to build into the infrastructure of charge points. So the idea is to for it to reach more people, benefit more people. So there's the infrastructure grants, which at the moment are up to £850 off per bay. So that includes a socket and line painting and marking out of the bays if you put in up to 5 bays. So without going into too much detail, we're currently working with lots of business local who want to help staff, their fleets, again, landlords with properties. So if they show the government that they're looking to work towards the infrastructure for charge points, they can possibly only put in 2 charge points and 2 bays, but they have to mark out up to 5 to show that they are willing to help with the net zero between now and 2030. So it may be they can't afford to have all the charge points put in now, but the infrastructure there in the car parking spaces and with the supply is there to help for future, which I think is amazing. I think it's great that the government are finally realising that businesses can help help themselves and help their employees. It obviously is a benefit now. People, when they start a new job, may be looking for private healthcare, but may also want to be charging their car at work as well. So it becomes not only a benefit to the company, but a benefit to employees, as well as all of us who need to charge our electric vehicles.
Brilliant. And I know at the moment it's difficult in a lot of industries to attract talent. So it's just another tick in that box, isn't it? If you're trying to weigh up two employers and one of them's going to let you charge your electric vehicle at work while you're working, it might just be the difference between you getting that member of staff or losing out. So I love that idea. And I think as well, when we think about the barriers to switching to electric vehicles, one of the biggest barriers, one of it is uncertainty, lack of education, lack of trust. So we've got that educational piece that we need to do. But the other part of it is just not knowing really where to start, what to do and who to help with. So yes, you've got these brilliant grants, but can you also support people with all the questions if they're at the beginning?
Totally. I come across customers who may have done loads of research into electric vehicles. They may be looking at getting a car, planning ahead. Can their property take a charge point? Can their business take a charge point? Do they have enough supply? I think for me as a business owner, I pride myself on that personal experience, and I believe that no matter where you live or where you work, and you can have an electric car and an electric charge point. It may not be the simplest route, it may be complicated, but that's why we're here. We carry out all site visits, especially on commercial properties and even on domestic as well, just to give the customer the reassurance that what might be on offer, because there's something like 90 different charge points available on the market nowadays. So not all of them are going to be compatible to everybody. Some are obviously solar compatible, which if you're thinking about solar panels, it's worth investing in a charger that is solar compatible. There's fast chargers, there's an array of different things on the market, and that's where we are here to help and guide people. It may be just initial conversation and just to find out about the grants, or can't we, it might be that you're not thinking about it for 6 months, but you need to plan for it in your budget. We're coming to, for some people, the end of the financial year. They're looking to either maybe they're lucky enough to have a budget left over and they think this would be a good incentive for their staff.
Use that budget, get it out the door.
Use that budget, get in contact with us. Or it might be they know that at some point in the future they're going to have charge points installed again, whether it be at home or in the offices, and now start planning for it. So we can help with loads of different options, and even show customers at our premises. I've got charge points in the showroom that people can come and have a look at as well, just to give them a bit of an idea and things like that, which is really helpful sometimes. Sometimes you need to see something before you buy it.
Absolutely. I recently got a courtesy car that was hybrid, and I've never touched an electric vehicle before, and I was a bit kind of taking me back to those days of having driving lessons where you need someone to show you how to fill up with petrol and fill the oil, and I was like, oh my, who do we go to now to help us understand how to plug in the blooming charger? So you can do that for us, which is great.
Totally. And there's different charge points, and some people do I want to charge with a lead or without a lead? There is an array of questions, and we can answer all those questions, whether it be what might seem the simplest, stupidest question to you. It isn't. It's everybody needs to know the knowledge and have the information before they're ready to get involved. And if we don't ask these questions now, we want people to get on board with charge points, electric cars, and help sustainability. We need to ask the right questions, whatever that may be, to get us where we need to be.
Amazing. Lisa, a couple of questions that I hope you can answer for me. So it makes sense to me, landlords and owners of, so maybe you're employing 200 staff and you've got a big own car park. I can see that instantly those businesses, it makes sense. But what about the one-person bands? What about the consultants who are out and about? They don't have maybe necessarily a set office, so their registered address is their home address or their accountant's. Well, let's say home address, because I get that it has to be your address where you're charging your vehicle. Are they still eligible? Are there kind of minimum level criteria?
No, unfortunately, the domestic grant, if you like, was done away at the end of March, which has seen a real turn in EV installations. So whereas before we was doing lots of domestic, it has gone more commercial for businesses because of the grants available. So unfortunately, there aren't any grants available for domestic homeowners, or perhaps, like you say, like people on the road, things like that. But what I would say to people is that that maybe their employers would help towards the cost of that. Although there's not any grants available, there is the workplace grants available, so it may be they may be able to use that to help with the employee as well. But technically there aren't any for anybody at home anymore.
Sure. So if you're a one-person band, you're self-employed, you've got no employees and you work from home, this grant is not for you.
No, unless you are registered. So if your business is, so we are doing a lot of workplace grants, which is to the value of £350 off an installation. If your company is registered to your home address, which a lot of people's businesses are, they can claim that off a domestic install, which makes a big difference. If you take a typical average domestic installation of about, say, £900 roughly, depending on the cable run and supply, they would get £350 off that, but they have to be registered to their home address.
Okay.
So
yeah,
there is,
if company and it's registered, so Company's House is your home address, you're running a bona fide company, but it's from home, you can claim up to £350 potentially with that grant. If you have got a business premises, so a bricks and mortar shop, maybe you've got an office or a manufacturing unit, that would be a commercial grant. So slightly different grant, but ultimately ask Lisa and she'll tell you the answer.
Totally. Where there's a way, there's a will.
Yeah,
there's a will, there's a way. Even
either way works for me. Works. Are there any? So, do you have to have a business energy provider? So I know a lot of people who work from home and are self-employed, they've got a limited company. They may even employ staff who work in summer houses or converted parts of their building, but they don't have a commercial energy contract. They're still using a domestic energy contract for their home, even though it's their place of work. Right. Do you know if that's a barrier?
No, that's not at all, because it's about the registered address. And, there are still EV tariffs available with some providers. I know Octopus are still doing them. So, that is also worth looking into, whether it be for a domestic or a business, commercially, or you're at home. It's really worth taking the time to research what providers still have offers available, because some have been taken away. But I know that I don't know if anyone saw Martin Lewis last night with the head from Octopus on there. He was saying about more tariffs coming out in the future. So I think that that's definitely something that hopefully the government will help push the energy providers to start doing again, because they want us to get charge points, but we want tariffs as well, at 7p, I think kilowatt it used to be.
Yeah, totally get it. And I know NatWest have been doing an awful lot of work with Octopus, and their website is brilliant and they are super helpful. So between Lisa and Octopus, we can definitely get some savings. I'm certain of it. So Lisa, thank you for that massive download. I'm conscious that there are different types of grants, different types of suitability. I think if we were to go through them all and give the granular detail, people would just get frazzled. So I think probably if you're in agreement, the best advice would be make contact with your office. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Give me a call. You can visit our website at www.gocarcharge.co.uk. There's a contact form in there. You can complete that with any question or queries, and it'll come through to us here in the office. Alternatively, send us an email at office@gocarcharge.co.uk, or pick up the phone. We're always here, always happy to answer any questions, how little or big it may be, and we can answer any questions, especially around the grants that you've got, so we can help you every step of the way.
Thank you so much. And to anyone listening who's thinking, It's on my to-do list, but I'm just being really cautious about cost of doing business, cost of living. I think sensibly, it's something that you need to consider, will this add value or save money to my business? So there are certain tender processes where having increased sustainability credentials will actually help you to win work. There will be other, for example, green mortgages that if you've made sustainable improvements to your home, so domestic status, but for where you're doing business, you can then potentially save money on your mortgage. But you need to do, I'm not a financial advisor, you need to do all that legwork and research. But it feels to me as if this is the future. This is where we're going. Electric vehicles don't feel like they're going anywhere. She says with the disclaimer about I'm not. So investigate it, consider it. If you are looking at a £900 install charge, then £350 towards that could potentially save you money on your energy costs and help you save money on your green mortgages and help you get better chance of bids and tender success. Doesn't feel like a massive investment. Is there a deadline, Lisa? Do we have to act fast?
No, at the moment, the government grants for businesses, as we've mentioned, there is no deadline, but as we know, it could change overnight. They could look to be changing it next year. There's no cut off at the moment, but I would say act now rather than later, because you just don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely. You never know when they're going to take it away.
No, exactly. It depends who comes in and changes everything.
Absolutely. Crikey, don't get us started on politics.
No.
That's a whole nother podcast. Lisa, just a quick question, and it's kind of a dafty question, but I've always wondered, are electric car chargers, are they universal? Is it like a plug socket or a light bulb where in 5 years' time, even if the technology changes, you still be able to plug it in? Or do they evolve? Do they change?
They have evolved. So without going into too much detail, charge points come with now type 2 sockets, and they used to be type 1. So if you've got an older electric vehicle, they might be still type 1, but there are adapters that you can change it over to make type 2. So, you know, I guess the answer is we don't know. There's been loads of regulations and changes this year for charge points that to make them smart and to make them more compatible with you know, all the changes that are going on with the energy and our homes. So they could change them, but I don't see it. I mean, obviously I'm not a car manufacturer, so it's hard to know, but I guess if they do, then they'll bring out an adapter the same as they've gone from type 1 to type 2. But for the moment, type 2 is to stay, and so you can charge your as long as you've got the right lead, you can charge it at any charge point.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for helping me understand that a little bit better. Lisa, is there anything we haven't covered off today that you want our listeners to know or be aware of? Or are you happy that we've covered everything and you're just going to sit and wait for those people to pick up the phone?
Definitely. The only thing I just would like to mention that I haven't, just with regards to the grant, is that some people get really put off by them and think, oh, it's going to take a lot of time, or how do I do it? It's really simple. Whether it be the workplace grant, I just send you a link, you get a voucher code, you give it to me and I take it off your invoice. If it's the more complicated grants that we've discussed already, it's a form that I complete for you. So don't want people to think, oh, I don't want to do it because it's a 30-page document, how am I going to have time? It's really easy, and I do the majority of it for you. So I just thought I'd just clarify that, actually, so that people know that it's not time consuming. We're all busy, we don't have time to fill in a form. Do I really need to do that? You don't have to worry, leave it to me to do for you. So
amazing. Oh, that's brilliant. Lisa, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.